Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and oh, it's a special day. Spiffy, Tiffy, and I are back together on the podcast. You know Tiff, you love Tiff, you hear her with or without me, but today's a special day. You get both of us one podcast. Tiff, how you doing today?
No, I'm so good. I just love when we podcast together, first of all, and I love that and like pivot. We pivot really well. We roll with the punches well, and this morning has proven that. And I feel like this whole week has been a pivot and roll with the punches, and I'm excited for everyone to hear all of the wonderful words we have to say today.
Me too. And Tiff, it is fun because it's funny. When Tiff and I started the company, I feel like we talk to each other all the time. And this morning I was getting ready at 5:30 a.m. because I was like, sweet, I got a lot of podcasts. We're going to start at 6 a.m. today. It's going to be a great day. And I'm like, I used to call Tiff during this time and we just like chat and talk shop. And now it's like, hey, let's catch up on the podcast. Okay. So like,
Yeah.
how's life? How you doing over there? Even though we work together all the time. But I think that just shows the growth that we've been able to have. And it's interesting. Something I will say is as you grow and evolve, make sure that you still stay connected to your key players. I think Tiff and I have to now be very intentional. Like we call each other or we'll FaceTime each other or like I'll just randomly FaceTime Tiff while I'm driving with Jason just so we stay as friends in a relationship because work I think can sometimes accidentally we're so busy, ships in the night,
Mhm.
even though we're in the same company. So Tiff, good time to reconnect on the podcast. Hi, it's been a hot minute. Great to see you. I think I haven't
Good to
seen
see
you
you.
all week, so it's great to see you.
That's so true. We
but
haven't, not since our leadership meeting on Monday.
and we had like one client call together, which I'm like, hey, it's real fun to be with you
Oh
here.
yeah.
Like,
That's
see you
right.
later. But no, it's truly so fun. And today, Tiff and I wanted to just, I think we're seeing it. It's actually one thing that I will say Tiff and I are doing really well that we haven't done is we actually are coaching mutual clients together. We only have a
Mhm.
couple and it's been really fun. I think Tiff, I feel like it's like our shake and bake, like Stockton to Malone, like Tiff to Kira, like let's just have a good time on it because it's not often other than events that we get to do this. But I think in coaching clients more together, I think you and I are starting to see this like really awesome pattern that you brought up of a topic of like this 1%. And I know you're obsessed in it and working out, which thank you because every day I think about you and I'm like, yeah, Kara, just go move your body 1% more today, like just 1% today. And so I think in life, but let's also take it to practices and billing. Tiff kind of riffed us on the topic I did, and we're just going to riff for you guys today. Kira and Tiff, Stockton to Malone. If you don't know the jazz, well, you missed out. But basically, we're the glory days. That's what this is. It's a glory. It's a dream team back together, doing our shake and bake, rattle and roll, talking all things dentistry. So Tiff, take it away.
Yeah, I actually, I think we all know the 1% rule and we know the compound effect and we know we know arbitrarily that these things and these ideas are something we're supposed to do and that they work. And last year, I found myself in this space where I was like trying to octopus arms a lot of different things in my life that I wanted improvement on. And I had like three, four, five, whatever it was, things that I'm like, okay, I'll do a little bit here, I'll do a little bit here, I'll do a little bit here. And it's kind of like, I was just talking to Aaron the other day about like paying down debt, right? So like you're paying down debt and you're like, okay, I'll put a little extra on this card, a little extra on this card, a little extra on this card. And that little bit of extra actually isn't making any progress because the percentages, right? The interest on it is actually eating it alive. And you just get to the spot where you're like, oh my God, I'm not making any progress in anything. And I'm spreading myself so thin, I'm exhausted. And I found myself there with debt but with these areas of my life that I was like, I just want to feel 50%, 100% better in these areas. And I was giving a little bit to all these spaces. And Aaron and I had a conversation. I was just like, I'm so exhausted. Something's got to give, something's got to change. And he's like, let's pick one. And so I was thinking, and then
I
we
think about
did.
your
We just,
plate
we,
overfilling. From the day I met you, Tiff had this image of like, how people say like their plate's really full. Tiff's like, no, my plate's full and I have like food. Like I don't know why it is, but it's like cauliflower, broccoli, carrots is
yeah,
what I've envisioned for you, just sitting on the side of her plate. So it's like there.
yeah.
Then she's got like her sweet potato, and it's like on the placemat, but it's off the plate. And I think that that's like a really good visual of who Tiff's been since
Yeah.
I've met you, and how I think all of us live our life. This isn't just a Tiffany, but like whether it's the octopus arms or the plate
Mhm.
over, like literally, Tiff, it's been like cauliflower, broccoli. Like
Yeah.
I just see like a big like hunk of broccoli on the side of your plate,
Yes. And
trying to accomplish
I
it all.
actually had somebody in my life. I had a friend years ago. Gosh, this was like I remember the stop sign we were sitting at, and I remember being like crying, like, gosh, dang it, one more thing. And I'm like, I can do it. It's fine. Because I'm the person that's like, yeah, I can totally do it. I know I can do it. But what cost is it at is not something I always think of. And he looked at me and he said, you are like the person at Thanksgiving that you're just so excited to have some of everything that you have your plate and you filled it with everything. So you've got your turkey, your mashed potatoes and gravy, and your roll and your sweet potatoes. And then you sat down and you're like, oh, shoot, I forgot. Like this plate, he's like, it's a mounds of food because it's Thanksgiving, right? Which is fair. We all do that at Thanksgiving. He goes, but then you forgot about like the pie and somebody else put other rolls out, and so then you like started shoving it under your plate, and he's like, that's your one more, you just took a piece of apple pie when you already had pumpkin pie, and you said yes to this, which means you said no to the pumpkin pie because you can't eat both. And I was like, holy cow, I love Thanksgiving, that works. Like I get it. And so yes, that was me. And so again, I don't know how long ago was that,
I don't know,
7 8 years
five,
later,
six,
9 years.
7 years later.
Like, golly, are you kidding me? It came up again. And then somebody else, like, just said it in different terms. And he said, like, if you could do 1% better every single day in one area, that's your compound effect. If you do 1% better in 5 areas, but you only had 1% to give, you're trying to give 5%, you're going to go backwards in areas. Like you can't, it just doesn't work. The math isn't there. He does math. Math is his jam. So he's like, the math doesn't, it's not mathing. So if you choose one area that is going to bring the most like happiness and joy out of all the other areas that you could easily give 1% improvement, it's going to snowball. And what happened, what I found, right, is that 1% in my health and my fitness, which is what I chose to focus on, did snowball. And so all of a sudden the habit stacking that I had going on in my health and fitness snowballed into those other areas that I was trying to octopus arms into. So I saw slight improvements in those other areas, and I was like, oh, okay, everyone, they're both right. It's fine. Thank you. But I started thinking about it today. It popped up today for me actually really strong. I don't remember this morning why it popped up, but it did. And so then when, Kara, you and I got on here, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is what practices do. This is what business owners do this constantly, right? We go into something and we're like, gosh, I've got to be best at marketing. I've got to make money and have great profitability. I've got to be a great leader and I have to have an awesome team and I've got to train people to be leaders. And then we're octopus arms and like Thanksgiving plates say yes to everything, which in turn makes us say no to something else. And so I thought, the most, you've got octopus arms, you've got your plate, like what's the most important thing? You've got your dinner plate overflowing and you look at it and you're like, I'm probably not going to eat all of this, right? I would love to be able to eat all of this and not like get the calories from it and not like feel like I'm going to throw up. Like I want it all, but if I have to go by what's most important and start there, I'm going to start with the protein and the vegetables. So when you look at your business, right, the protein and the vegetables are going to help my health. It's going to promote my muscle build. It's going to like positively impact the goals that I'm working for. If I start with the pumpkin pie, which is where I want to start because I want room for the pumpkin
Too.
pie,
Me
it's a
too.
negative. I want it, right? I want the sugar, but like I know that I feel like crap after eating the sugar. So if I'm a business owner and I'm focusing solely on, I don't know, new patients. I only want new patients, but I haven't focused on making sure my team knows how to collect. I'm over here crying to my consultant that I don't have any money in the bank and I can't afford my consultant. But my new patients, I've got 62 new patients who also aren't scheduling treatment. Right. So that's like the pumpkin pie. Whereas the protein is making sure we're like focusing on the money, right? And not to the point that we lose the patient experience. That's not my point. My point is how can we be 1% better in our collections? Like what are we missing? And I had a revelation finally with a practice this week and I love her to death. And I'm just like, yay, we got there. Cause I'm like, something's not happening. Something that should be happening is not happening because your insurance AR is beautiful, but over here, we still have almost $200,000 in AR. How is it possible when your insurance AR is showing up as like 44,000, right? And so like getting there, getting there, getting there. But the 1% is what's something that we can do today to collect part of what we're missing, right? What's one phone call, one extra phone call we can make? What's one person coming in the door that has a past due balance that we can collect today? Like, how can we take that theory of that 1% better that is so easy to implement when it comes to health, fitness, and nutrition? We get it. Our brains are like, oh, yeah, that makes total sense. Eat the protein before the sugar. I get it. I don't want to, but I can do that. But we have such a hard time implementing that in like the other structures of our lives because it's just not, it doesn't feel as clean and as clear. And I think, Kira, it doesn't feel as fun, right? Like eating the
It
pumpkin pie
doesn't.
is more fun. So
Yeah,
marketing is way more fun than billing.
exactly what I
Hands
was.
down, I don't want to do billing. I want to do marketing.
And when you were saying it, I was like, the reason we don't go for the turkey is because turkey's freaking dry and pumpkin pie is sweet and fun, which is why people don't like to look at their numbers because numbers are like protein and it's not as fun. And I'm sitting here like, shoveling down this nasty turkey that I know is like super lean, no fat in it, and I'm able to get my protein in. And yet, when you talked about it, Tiff, of like, I think those business owners, this is where you cut out the noise, and the elite business owners are able to cut out the noise, not go for the sexy, and go for the things that are actually going to build the foundation. And when you can figure that out, because like Tiff, you and I, it makes me wild when clients come through and they're like, I can't afford this. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't afford this? You have like 300,000 sitting in AR, like bada bing, bada boom, it's right there. And if we just collect before they leave, oh my gosh, a revelation. You actually get paid for the work you did.
Mhm.
And we're not like, oh, hey, Tiff, you want to pay me like 6 months later? Like, no, I did the work. Let's get this paid. Why are we living in the 1900s? Like, we don't have tabs. Get rid of it. But it's something so interesting that you're right. Like, I want to do new patients. Like, that's so much more
Mhm.
fun. And also, it's a flex. Like, when you go to a conference, like, here's my production, here's my new patient number. And I'm like, cool, here's my profit. Like, it's
Yeah.
not as fun and it's awkward. And you're like, because also I don't want to tell people my profit because I don't like, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. So it's this weird zone of it's not safe to share publicly. It's a weird thing to talk about. But at the end of the day, it's the number one thing you're stressing about all day long. And so I think, like you said, Tiff, when you were talking, I also thought like every team member could have their 1% better. So
Mhm.
doctors, if you want octopus arms, amazing. You can actually have it through your team members. Like right now, Tiff actually has her one thing in her department that she's focused on. Britt has her one thing in her department she's focused on. Shelby has her one thing. Like they have other things, but it's like if we can't get anything, these are the top three things that have to get done. And honestly, we went after profitability and like hiring consultants. We're like, all right, these are the two things. And it's wild when we focus on it, we laser focused, we cut the pumpkin pie, we cut, and it was for us, we did cut marketing. We were like, all
Yeah.
right, this is going to move the needle forward. It's crazy how much more calm life feels. It's crazy how
Yeah.
less stressed you feel. And then you're able to move things forward even faster. So I think it's a like, and you said it doesn't have to be hard. Like this morning, I honestly thought about you, Tiff. So kudos. This is probably why we were hanging out. Like I need a 1% better. I was getting ready for the podcast, and I'm like, it's gonna be all day long. I'm podcasting today. I'm probably not gonna work out. And I was like, I
Mhm.
literally thought about you in the back of my head, and I was like, I could do 5 minutes of stretching right now. That would make me feel way better going on to this podcast. It shows me that I honor my body. That's my 1% for today. And yet my body already has felt better today. And I was in a better mindset on it was 8 minutes that I did like yoga, stretching, making sure I took care of my body, did some like quick like lifts for my shoulder. It was very simple. It took no time at all. And it's the same thing of like your biller could collect on the patients. Like every patient who comes in, if we just collected those balances, you would feel like you're the richest person in the world. If we just
Mhm.
called the high balances, just those people alone, that's probably like 50% of what you need to collect right there. And that's very easy, but it's not sexy. And I think to like, what is the psychology behind like it's easy, but it's not fun, so we don't do it? Like eating protein dry turkey is such a great example of this because it's
Yeah.
like it's needed, it's necessary, and it's super great for you. But I'd rather do the pumpkin pie. Like, how do you discipline that, or is it just a trained behavior? Like, I think about my sign in the kitchen of discipline for freedom. I think about this all the time.
It's true. And I think I think you have to get, no matter what, you have to get to the point that you've hit like rock bottom, right? Like it has to hurt badly enough for people to change something, for beings to change something. Like a dog's not going to change its routine until it hurts badly enough going the same direction, right? So I think no matter what, it has to hurt badly enough. So you have to get into that spot. But psychology behind it, like there's so much that it gets stacked up behind the things that we do every single day. And I know I had a conversation with my sister. My practice is now I always call her out on stuff, but she said to
You're
me,
great.
She's my Craig. She said to me one
Hi,
day,
Craig.
this is like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, she doesn't listen. Craig might. So hello, Craig. We love you. We've talked about you for many years, and you are a staple of our company. But she said to me, one, it was so simple. It was like there was this yogurt in the fridge that she had gotten. I'm like, hey, don't forget you had this yogurt in the fridge. She goes, oh my gosh, I couldn't remember if that was yours or if it was mine. And I was like, heck no, girl, did you know you can get the same yogurt in this brand? And it's like instead of 120 calories, it's 60 calories. Because I'm like, I'm watching my freaking calories because I've seen that change, right? I've seen that difference. And she was like, oh my gosh, whatever, right? She gets tired of hearing me say it. I'm like, well, stop talking about food with me, right? But then we get like ice cream, and I chose actually like I chose this amazing dairy free. It's so good, I crave it, right? Um, it's like whipped cream, right? Coconut whipped cream, and you freeze it and you put fruit in it. I need a sprinkle delivery system, is what I call it. That's my sprinkle delivery system. It's literally frozen whipped cream and I pour sprinkles on top of it, right? Well, my sister tells me I don't want to have to say no to something. If I want something, I want to be able to have it. And so she gets the loaded ice cream, which I don't care. I have no care in the world on what you eat. But that statement, I was like, oh my God, that's the statement. That's the
Mhm.
thing that keeps us in the space that we're in because we've convinced ourselves that saying no to the pumpkin pie and yes to the turkey hurts. That it's like, no, I should be able to do whatever I want because that's the societal thought process that we live in. I should be able, and I'm like, okay, but saying yes to that has changed something else. So I'm saying no to my fitness, to my health, my fitness, my mental stability, because sugar changes how I think, right? I know this. I know sugar. I know TV. I know social media. I feel different. My thought process is different after these things, right? So if I say, I want to have that, I don't want to have to say no. I'm saying yes to the sugar. So I'm saying yes to the distraction in my business while saying no to the thing that's going to push me forward and make me a better human for myself. Because if I say no to the protein, but yes to the sugar, my brain works differently. And that makes me more angry inside than not having the pumpkin pie.
Totally. And as you said that, Tip, I thought about like people always like dentists are interesting. And I know you hear this, I hear this, all of our consultants hear it. People want to know like what sets apart the elite practices, like what makes it. And I'm like, it's literally this discipline. It is what Tiff just talked about, where you realize that saying yes to the protein and lifting weights is better for you, better for the company, better for long term sustainability rather than the shiny or urgent issue that's hitting you right now. It
Yeah,
is so fun to talk about marketing. It is so fun to sit here and dream up all these great ideas. But the reality is, if I'm not making money, then why on earth am I doing this? And you can justify it all day long, like, well, because we need marketing because this will help us make more money. When I'm like, if there's gaping holes in your bucket right now, have the discipline. And I think that that's where like I've been watching a lot of things and they say like some of the most successful people in the entire world are the ones who wake up early and work out consistently every day, no matter what, rain or shine, it does not matter. It's not always a guaranteed same amount of workout, but it's the discipline and the habit that they've created that they know when they say like, we do what's most important for our body. We do what's most important for our business. Their body's not revolting and be like, but I want the sugar. It's like, nope, when we say go, we go. And you're
yeah,
training. This is why I think cold plunging people like that. They like these other things of like, you're training your body that when you command and when you command your brain, you are actually going to execute on this. And I think if you could even take it in food or you could take it in small areas, what you're doing in your personal life is actually training who you're going to be as a business owner. And so
100%.
helping you see, and like this is me. I mean, Tiff, shoot, I was the cake pop girl. Like, when was the last time you saw me
Same.
at a cake pop? Like, this is not something that we even do anymore because we're like, absolutely not. I know we're going to feel terrible. That's not fueling our body that needs to then be able to be sustaining. And I think it's like that maturity as well of business ownership and discipline. But I'm like, you don't have to wait through all the years. You can realize today what's my 1% in the true problem area of my business. And we do in our mastermind, Tiff and I actually put together this survey that we have our clients do every single quarter in our in-person mastermind. And we asked the question, if your business could talk today, what would it say is the number one problem in your business? Whatever that is, go fix that and be 1% better. And I think, Tiff, that's such a good question we ask. We ask about your relationships too, but I'm like, if you looked at that, that's the one area. And if that's truly your biggest pain point, which most offices it is, most people come to us for cash flow. Yes, it's cash flow, it's overhead, it's systems, it's leadership. But I'm like, usually the pain is on cash. I'm like, I'm freaking
Yeah.
broke, but you waited until you were broke before you reached out for help. So if you're like teetering this, reach out now. If you're really there, it's okay. We'll still help you out. But I think it's just a matter of like train yourself this discipline, ask yourself that question, and then go to work and stay so laser focused. Because I think if you can train yourself to stay laser focused, I asked a coach, she's working with billionaires, and I said, what's the number one thing that sets apart the really high end achievers versus the others? And she said, it's focus. They have insane ability to focus on the problem that needs to happen, and they don't get sucked up in the wash. And I thought that was so powerful. And I think everyone can be that way. So those are kind of my wrap up thoughts of the 1%. Collect like, and it's not hard. It's like collect one balance more. It's diagnose one more thing that you would normally put a watch on. It's we call one balance today that's a high end balance, and we just do that versus like, oh, I got to do the whole list. No, you just do one because the small chips will add up to the big thing. And it's a snowball effect. Dave Ramsey talks about with debt. You literally put all of it onto your hardest debt now. You put all that money there. You snowball that. You pay that one off. Then you take that amount, put it on the next one, snowball that, make that. And this is the same thing in your business. It's habit
Mhm.
stacking. But I think more than that, it's teaching you to be a CEO rather than to be a flighty employee. Like my 2 cents.
I totally agree. And I think that 1% is so perfect. And because what you just said, it compounds, right? It snowballs. So if you can have your billing department or whomever, your office manager, whoever it is, stop being so distracted by the easy things, right? I always say, make your life easy by doing the hard things. Like it just because it's
Rewind that
easy. Like
back.
my
She just said, make your life easy by doing the hard things. Like, I hope you heard that. You make your life easy by doing these hard things. Go on. That was
Yeah, it
brilliant.
doesn't mean, thank you. It doesn't mean there are no hard things. It doesn't mean you don't have to do hard things to have an easy life. Like I live a fairly easy life, in my opinion, but holy cow, have I done and do I do really hard things, but I don't shy away from it. And I get asked a lot, like, how did you get through that? Like, I have gone through some crazy life traumatic items, and people are like, how did you get through that? I'm like, I don't know. I just did. I just didn't ignore it. And I just pushed through and got to the next layer, that next level. And if you do that same thing, it starts to compound. You stack those pieces. So if you make one hard call today, one balance that you're like, shoot, this person's going to be mad, get it out of the way. Because guess what?
Eat
They're
the
only going to
frog.
be more mad if you wait 3 months and you're like, hey, 6 months ago you were here and like you didn't pay, or we got your frequency wrong and you owe $500 on a crown that we thought insurance was going to pay. They're going to be like, I was 6 months ago. Why are you just now calling me? So do it today and get it out of the way. And guess what? If they're upset, like have a conversation with them. It's fine. So then you flex that muscle, right? Like my boyfriend hates doing legs. Well, he sucks at legs because he doesn't do it. So it's like, just do it. So it's easier. I hate working out chest. Like, just do it so that I can be stronger later. So yeah, it sucks making those calls, but it's not that hard. I sat in an office one day. I'm gonna tell this story because I think it's just funny. I sat in an office one day and I hear, meh, 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 this person won't pay. She says she has no money. She doesn't answer our calls. It's been here for 2 years. And I was like, girl, give me the phone. And I called and I left a voicemail and I said, hey, I really need to talk to you because your balance is about to be out of my hands and I do not want it to get to that next step. Please call me back like today. I really, really want to help you take care of this. Guess who called within 10 minutes? They have been calling, quote unquote. I don't know if they called or not. I don't know. Right? Forever. They've sent statements. This woman has no money and won't pay. Guess who started making $50 monthly payments to keep that account from going to collections? I don't know where it was going to go. I usually just blame it on the next step. Guess who started paying? And the doctor was like floored. Three more calls, three more. I collected. I sitting in that office, I was there to consult them, and I collected on four large past due balances for that practice in 30 minutes. It's not
Mhm.
hard. We just make it uncomfortable. And you just have to get through it.
Ah, Tiff, so much brilliant. And I think this is why we love consulting. We're able to help your offices see the frog they need to eat, see which one, because you can be like messy in the noise. And this is why having outside people, Tiff, like Aaron and your other friend who point out, like, hey, your plate's freaking full. Stop like shoving food underneath it. Stop having octopus arms. Sometimes you need to see where you're overextending and overflowing to be able to make those changes. And so if we can help, like obviously Tiff and I love to do this, reach out, hello@thedeadlineteam.com. But today go look to see what's my number one actual problem, not the one that I want to work on, but the actual problem. How can I get like 1% better in this? Commit for the next 3 months and then let us know how that goes. A lot of us need accountability buddies, which is where we're really great. It's always better with a buddy. It's better when I know Tiff's working out and I'm working out. And we're able to, like, I got back on the Peloton, Tiff, because I got you back on the Peloton.
Yeah.
Like, we're both back on it. But this is where sometimes it's better with a buddy. It's more fun. So reach out if we can help you. Tiff, thanks for being on the podcast. I
Of
adore you. I
course.
love your analogies. And girl, I'm proud of you. Your food's not
Thank you.
100% overflowing anymore. I think you've got like on the plate. So kudos. You're making huge
Thank you.
progress.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. We truly love and adore each and every one of you.
We do. And as always, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time on the Dental Team Podcast.